different stages, it changed. Initially, they were deeply connected to the beings of Sirius, and the beings of Sirius then passed them on to the beings of the Pleiades. And this is when the focus of Lemuria began to change. The beings of Sirius helped them to develop their infrastructure, their organizational practices, their civilizational rituals that would allow for them to be cohesive, organized. But once that had been established, the Lemurian beings then went through a cultural shift. They began to resonate more with Pleiadian consciousness, and the Pleiadian beings began to share with the Lemurians high forms of art, high forms of music. Things became much more expressive. Things became much more intuitive. And different colonies then began to expand outwardly from Lemuria, from the main continent. And these different colonies that expanded outwardly, some of them chose to explore in different connections and in different ways. The beings of Atlantis, one of the colonies that came from Lemuria, chose to explore in a more technological way. So, just as you have the 13 U.S. colonies that were created as a means of exploring a different path, a different way of life, a different focus, you also had these colonies of Lemuria being formed, so people could explore a different path, a different way. Originally, Lemuria began with a Sirius connection. It then moved to a Pleiadian connection. The Atlantean colony that formed later returned to the Sirius connection, but they began to work with the shadow star of the Sirius system. That is the main difference.
Okay, thank you.
Sirius A, Sirius B, and the 7 major stars of the Pleiades. These were the largest influences. Orion came later, but Orion as a constellation was also a major influence and factor.